Chris Yandex, CYInterview covering Las Vegas and the world. If you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have great stuff going out here at CYInterview every week, and we really would appreciate your support if you're not already a subscriber. And thank you to everybody who is already a subscriber. So today we're going to talk about the late Bulgarian clairvoyant Baba Vanga. So some recent media reports came out over the last week bringing up how Baba Vanga had predicted the end times, meaning the beginning of the end of the world, would take place next year starting in 2025. So just to begin, let's go back a little bit. Many of you probably remember, obviously, the famous psychic Sylvia Brown, who many times used to go on the Montel Williams show back in the 90s and maybe the early 2000s. That's what I remember, at least from my childhood growing up. And the reality of what it comes down to, she would make a bunch of predictions, and many of them were not right. So the reality of what it comes down to is that the late clairvoyant Baba Vanga is no different than Nostradamus or any of these other people. In reality, these people have no real insight into the future of what is exactly going to happen. They can't exactly see what's happening. The whole point of what it comes down to is this: we're in a really challenging state of the world right now. We got wars going on. We've got countries that are not very stable right now, that don't have acting governments. There's massive inflation in the United States of America. People are having troubles keeping up with housing costs and groceries and things like that. Not to get political, but these are just the state of the world, things going on right now. There are a lot of people struggling across the world right now. But do I think the world is going to end? No, I do not think the world is going to end. The only way the world could start to end, in my opinion, is if we get to nuclear war. And there's a lot of, obviously, issues in the big world among the superpowers in the West and the other parts of the world. So, I think at that point we won't have to worry about the rest of the world if nuclear war begins. But let's put nuclear war aside and say nuclear war is not happening. We're all going to be here. We're all going to be here indefinitely. And you may recall, looking back to 2012 in the Mayan calendar, people thought, oh, the world's going to end, the world's going to end, the world's going to end, the world's going to end. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I sit here with you 12 years later, and the world has not ended. We are still here. We are still living. We are still pursuing our goals and happiness, hopefully, most of us. And I know a lot of people out there are suffering with different diseases and cancers and chronic disabilities and viruses and lifelong changing health circumstances, and that's very challenging, and my heart goes out to these people, and I hope your life gets better. And sometimes maybe in general, as you look at the world, you're just like, man, things are not going well for me, or I'm not very happy, or the world just looks like it's falling apart, and I wish the world would end. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who wish that on some thought, or had that thought in their life, that the world would end, because they feel like then there wouldn't have to be any responsibility or self-accountability for what's going on in their life. And I'm just going to say, more than anything else, let me make a bold prediction. You're going to come back in a month, and this video is still going to be here on the CYInterview YouTube page. I'm going to make another prediction. You're going to see tomorrow the sun's going to come up, and then the sun's going to go down, and you're going to see the moon. I'm going to make those two predictions. Those things are both going to happen based on what we know. Now, if the sun doesn't come up or the moon doesn't come up, the world probably has ended, but it's not ending. There's so much of this doomsday kind of thinking, and I wonder, is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? You be the judge of that. The Mayan calendar, 12 years ago, world's going to end. We're still here. Baba Vanga, may she rest in peace. But the world's not ending. The world is not ending. The reality is there a lot of instability in the world right now? Is there a lot of challenges in the world right now? Yep, there's no denying that. Are there crumbling governments in the world right now? Absolutely. Is there a need for more stability in governments in different nations across the world, like Haiti, so people can be safe in a country like that? Absolutely. But is the world ending? No. I send positive thoughts, well wishes to everybody and hope that the world becomes safer, that less people die, that people are respected and respect each other. I wish for all those things. But wishing for the world to end is not going to happen. And a lot of these people, it's like these people who like to make predictions about the stock market crashing. And they've said for years that the stock market's going to crash, the stock market's going to crash. And yeah, at some point it does crash. But how many times leading up to it did those people who make those predictions get those wrong? You know, it's easy to be right 1 out of 5 times or 1 out of 10 times. What is that? 20%? 10%? In school, that would be an F. That would be failing. That doesn't even get on the grading scale for a passing grade. So why put any stock in any of this stuff? Maybe people love to think about the thoughts about the world ending because it puts them at peace because they're not happy with their life. Well, here's my response. You're born one day, you're dead one day. You have to make the most of what's in between, which is, of course, the dash, right? That's what you make count, the time that you're here on this earth. So here's my suggestions. Be nice to other people. Try to find a way to help others. Try to find a way to do something positive every week. Find some purpose in your life. And most importantly, find joy. Find joy. Find something that brings you absolute joy. There's nothing wrong with enjoying things and seeking pleasure, but in life, you should seek joy above pleasure. I love going on vacations. I love traveling. I love being here in Las Vegas and enjoying all the great things of Las Vegas. But at the end of the day, seek joy in your life. Seek a purpose. Seek something that makes a difference in other people's lives. And maybe you have already found that. And if you have, you understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't found that, seek it, because guess what? One day you won't have the dash anymore. And one day it'll be the year that you die that'll be remembered. I'm Chris Yannick for CYInterview. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with everything we have going on here in Las Vegas and beyond. And I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe. We greatly appreciate it.